Welcome to Newsbeacon, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. On September 9, 2025, Qatar's sense of security was shattered. The tranquil night sky over Doha was suddenly lit up by the ominous glow of explosions. Israeli warplanes struck Doha, targeting Hamas leaders living in the city. The attack was swift and precise, leaving the city in a state of shock and confusion. The mission, codenamed Fire Summit, was a bold and unprecedented move. It was meticulously planned and executed, showcasing Israel's military prowess. For Qatar, it was a violation of sovereignty and a blow to its reputation as a mediator. The nation, known for its diplomatic efforts, found itself in an unexpected and precarious position. The attack killed 5 Hamas members and a Qatari security officer, but the main Hamas leaders survived. The loss of life and the breach of security left the nation mourning and questioning its future. Israel's ambassador to the U.S. warned that more strikes could follow. The message was clear: Israel would not hesitate to act again if it deemed necessary. The shockwaves were immediate. Qatar's leadership condemned the attack as state terrorism and vowed to respond. The streets of Doha were filled with protests, and the government faced mounting pressure to take decisive action. A legal committee was formed to explore options under international law. Qatar sought to hold Israel accountable on the global stage, aiming to rally international support against the aggression. The strike destroyed Qatar's belief that Western alliances and hosting U.S. bases would guarantee its safety. The presence of foreign troops and advanced military hardware had not deterred the attack. Billions spent on Western military hardware and foreign troops on Qatari soil had not prevented the attack. The nation was left to ponder the effectiveness of its heavy investments in defense. Israeli jets entered and exited without challenge, exposing a critical vulnerability. The ease with which the operation was carried out raised serious concerns about Qatar's air defense capabilities. Qatar now faces a crossroads, questioning the reliability of its allies and the effectiveness of its defenses. The nation must decide whether to continue relying on traditional alliances or seek new partnerships. The nation is forced to rethink its entire security strategy. Every aspect of its defense and foreign policy is now under scrutiny. Traditional partnerships have failed to provide the expected protection. The trust in long-standing alliances has been severely undermined. The sense of betrayal runs deep. The people of Qatar are left feeling vulnerable and uncertain about their future. This crisis has opened the door to new, once unthinkable possibilities. Qatar is now exploring alternative alliances and strategies to ensure its security. Qatar is now considering turning to a different global power for help. That power is China. The potential shift in alliances could reshape the geopolitical landscape of the region. On paper, Qatar boasts one of the Middle East's most advanced air forces. Its fleet gleams with the latest technology, and its air bases are filled with some of the world's most formidable fighter jets. The country's leaders have invested heavily in building a force that looks impressive to both allies and adversaries. After the 2017 blockade, Qatar spent billions on top-tier Western jets, F-15QAs, Rafales, and Eurofighter Typhoons. These acquisitions were meant to send a clear message: Qatar would not be caught off guard again. The Air Force became a symbol of national pride and a deterrent against future threats. Tanks, helicopters, and Patriot missile systems were added to create a fortress-like defense. The goal was to build a multi-layered shield capable of responding to any kind of attack, whether from the air or on the ground. Yet the Israeli strike exposed a glaring weakness. None of this hardware stopped the attack. Despite all the investment, the air defense network failed at a critical moment, leaving key facilities vulnerable and raising alarms across the region. Qatari jets never even scrambled. The runways remained silent, and the advanced aircraft stayed grounded as the attack unfolded. The failure raised tough questions. Was it a technical flaw, a command breakdown, or a political decision? Military leaders and analysts began to debate whether the systems were properly integrated or if hesitation at the top prevented a timely response. Qatar's military is now forced to confront the limits of relying on Western technology and alliances. The incident has sparked a broader conversation about self-reliance, operational readiness, and the true value of expensive hardware without the ability to use it effectively. The realization: advanced weapons mean little without the systems, training, and will to use them. For Qatar, this means investing not just in equipment, but in people, doctrine, and decision-making processes that can turn technology into real security. This vulnerability is driving Qatar to seek new partners and rethink its defense posture. The government is now exploring new alliances, diversifying its sources of military support, and re-evaluating its strategic priorities. The search for a more reliable security guarantee has begun, as Qatar looks to ensure that its air force is not just powerful on paper, but truly capable of defending the nation when it matters most. As Qatar explores new avenues to modernize its air force, its search for advanced fighter jets leads it to consider China's Chengdu J-10C Vigorous Dragon, a jet that's rapidly gaining attention on the global stage. The J-10C is a state-of-the-art, multi-role fighter designed to rival the best Western jets in both technology and performance. With its sleek lines and advanced avionics, it's a symbol of China's growing aerospace ambitions. Its design draws heavily from Israel's cancelled Lavi project, blending unique agility with cutting-edge radar systems. The Canard Delta configuration and powerful engine give it impressive maneuverability, making it a formidable opponent in dogfights. But what truly sets the J-10C apart is its arsenal. The PL-15 long-range air-to-air missile, equipped with an advanced active radar seeker, boasts a range that outclasses most Western missiles, potentially shifting the balance of air power in the region. Pakistan, one of the first export customers, claims to have successfully used the PL-15 in real combat scenarios, further boosting the missile's reputation and the jet's appeal to countries like Qatar. For Qatar, acquiring the J-10C isn't just about fielding a modern fighter, it's about asserting independence and diversifying its defense partnerships beyond traditional Western suppliers. By turning to China, Qatar can reduce its reliance on the US and Europe, sidestepping the political conditions and restrictions that often come with Western arms deals. The J-10C would provide Qatar with a capability edge that few of its neighbors possess, enhancing its deterrence and regional influence. This move is more than a military upgrade, it's a strategic statement. Qatar is signaling its desire for greater autonomy and control over its own defense future. The decision to look eastward marks a significant shift away from decades of Western dominance in the Gulf's defense market. Unsurprisingly, this development is making Israel, and other regional players, very nervous, as the balance of power in the Middle East begins to subtly shift. News of Qatar's interest in Chinese jets has alarmed Israel. Prime Minister Netanyahu fears the sale will erode Israel's qualitative military edge. The PL-15 missile's range could let Qatari jets threaten Israeli aircraft from afar. The J-10C's unfamiliar systems make it harder for Israeli intelligence to counter. Israel is pressuring the US to block the deal, arguing it would destabilize the region. Ironically, Israel's own strike on Doha pushed Qatar toward China. Now Israel faces a new strategic headache, one it helped create. The region's balance of power is shifting, and Israel's dominance is no longer assured. The Israeli airstrike exposed a painful truth for Qatar. Its allies stood by and did nothing. Al Udeid Air Base hosts thousands of US troops, and Turkish F-16s are stationed in Qatar. Yet as Israeli jets approached, neither the US nor Turkey intervened or warned Qatar. This silence shattered Qatar's trust in its security partnerships. The US had previously helped intercept an Iranian missile attack on its own base, but not when Israel struck Doha. The double standard was clear: alliances are conditional. Qatar now sees that hosting foreign bases doesn't guarantee protection. The sense of betrayal is fueling a push for self-reliance. Qatar is determined to control its own security. That's why it's looking east. Qatar's interest in Chinese arms is about more than hardware. Diversifying suppliers reduces risk. If one partner fails, another can step in. China's J-10C and PL-15 missile offer capabilities the West won't provide. Chinese deals come with fewer political strings, giving Qatar more autonomy. It's a pragmatic move for survival in a volatile region. The China card also gives Qatar leverage with Washington. If the US wants to keep Qatar as a partner, it may have to offer better weapons or stronger guarantees. Qatar is signaling, support us or we'll find someone who will. It's a high-stakes diplomatic game, and Qatar is playing to win. Qatar's pivot to China puts the US in a bind. Washington has long tried to keep Chinese arms out of the Gulf, but by failing to stop the Israeli strike, The US undermined its own credibility. Now, if the US pressures Qatar too hard, it risks pushing it closer to Beijing. If it does nothing, Chinese tech could compromise US operations at Al Udeid. One option: offer Qatar the F-35 stealth fighter, but that would anger Israel. The US is caught between reassuring Qatar and placating Israel. The fallout from Israel's strike has left Washington cleaning up a diplomatic mess. The contradictions in US policy are now on full display. The stakes for American influence in the Gulf have never been higher. The next move could reshape the region. Qatar's interest in Chinese jets is part of a wider regional shift. Iran is also eyeing the J-10C, blurring old lines between allies and rivals. Saudi Arabia and the UAE are watching closely, considering their own options. If Qatar succeeds, others may follow, sparking a new arms race. Integrating Chinese and Western systems is risky. Miscalculations could escalate crises. Israel now faces neighbors armed with both Western and Chinese tech. The Israeli strike may have accelerated the very trends it feared. The Middle East is entering a new era of uncertainty. Old alliances are fading, and new powers are rising. Qatar's pursuit of Chinese jets marks a turning point in Middle East geopolitics. The era of unquestioned American dominance is ending. Regional powers want more control and are building ties with China and Russia. This multipolar landscape brings both risks, like arms races, and opportunities for new diplomacy. The future may depend less on weapons and more on building trust. If Qatar balances East and West, it could become a model for regional autonomy. The world is watching to see how the US, Israel, and Qatar adapt. The search for security in the Middle East has entered a new, uncertain chapter.